the small town of Ravenswood, there was an ancient forest known as Greystone Forest. For decades, it had been the subject of local legends and eerie tales. The forest was said to be haunted, and many avoided it after dark. However, one day, young Lydia Harris, a curious and brave teenager, disappeared without a trace while exploring the forest. Her disappearance shocked the community, and despite extensive search efforts, no trace of Lydia was found. The forest seemed to swallow her up completely, and the locals began to whisper about the dark forces that resided within. Several weeks after Lydia's disappearance, a mysterious stranger named Mr. Alistair Blackwood arrived in town. He claimed to be a paranormal investigator with a reputation for solving the unsolvable. Blackwood was drawn to Ravenswood by the tale of Lydia's disappearance and the whispers of the forest's dark secrets. He rented a small cabin on the edge of Greystone Forest and began his investigation. Blackwood was a man of few words, with a stern demeanor and an aura of mystery that unsettled the townsfolk. Despite their apprehension, many were eager to see if he could uncover the truth behind Lydia's disappearance. As Blackwood delved deeper into the forest, he discovered strange symbols carved into the trees. These symbols were ancient and appeared to be related to dark rituals and long-forgotten practices. Blackwood meticulously documented each symbol, piecing together their meanings as he went. He found evidence of recent disturbances in the forest floor, suggesting that someone or something had been moving through the area. Blackwood's investigations led him to believe that Lydia's disappearance was linked to these symbols and the malevolent force that they represented. One evening, Blackwood stumbled upon a hidden grove deep within the forest. The grove was surrounded by an unnatural mist, and the air was filled with a chilling silence. In the center of the grove stood an ancient stone altar, covered in more of the enigmatic symbols. As Blackwood examined the altar, he experienced a sudden and intense vision of Lydia. In the vision, she was trapped in a dark and otherworldly place, surrounded by shadowy figures whispering in an incomprehensible language. The vision left Blackwood shaken but determined to uncover the truth. Blackwood's research revealed that the symbols in the altar were part of a ritual meant to summon entities from another realm. The ritual, however, had been performed incorrectly, creating a dangerous rift that allowed malevolent entities to cross over. To close the rift and rescue Lydia, Blackwood needed to perform a counter-ritual. He gathered the necessary ingredients and tools, preparing for a confrontation with the dark forces that had been unleashed. The ritual required a full moon and precise incantations to succeed. On the night of the full moon, Blackwood returned to the hidden grove, ready to perform the counter-ritual. The forest was alive with eerie sounds and unnatural cold as he set up the altar and prepared the ritual components. As Blackwood began the incantations, the forest seemed to react violently. Shadowy figures emerged from the mist, their whispers growing louder and more menacing. Blackwood struggled against the growing darkness, using all his knowledge and strength to complete the ritual. The confrontation reached its peak when the rift began to close, and the dark entities fought to maintain their presence in the realm. With a final, powerful incantation, Blackwood sealed the rift, causing a blinding flash of light that dispelled the shadows and restored calm to the forest. After the ritual, the forest returned to its peaceful state, and the strange symbols vanished. Lydia was found unconscious but unharmed at the edge of the forest. She had no memory of her time in the otherworldly realm, but she was relieved to be back. Mr. Alistair Blackwood left Ravenswood soon after, his work completed. The townsfolk were grateful for his help, though they remained wary of the forest's secrets. Blackwood's departure was as mysterious as his arrival, leaving behind only a few notes and documents detailing his findings. In the weeks that followed, Lydia and her family tried to return to normal life, though the events of her disappearance had left a lasting impact on them. Greystone Forest remained a place of mystery and caution, with locals still whispering about the dark forces that lurked within. Blackwood's investigation into Greystone Forest became a part of local legend, and his story was told as a warning to those who ventured too close to the forest's depths. Lydia's disappearance and the secrets of the forest became a reminder of the thin veil that separates the known world from the unknown. The whispers of Greystone Forest continued to haunt the edges of Ravenswood, a testament to the strange and mysterious forces that lay just beyond the grasp of human understanding. Months after the forest was sealed and Lydia returned to her life, a strange phenomenon began to occur in Ravenswood. Residents reported glimpses of shadowy figures at the forest's edge and heard whispers carried by the wind. It seemed as though the dark forces had not been entirely vanquished. Lydia, now trying to move on, found herself increasingly troubled by vivid nightmares of shadowy figures and unsettling whispers. The nightmares seemed to be connected to the forest, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her. Determined to find answers, Lydia sought out the old documents left behind by Mr. Blackwood. She discovered that there might be remnants of the rift still open, and the dark entities might be trying to re-enter the world. Lydia decided to return to Greystone Forest to investigate. With a mix of apprehension and resolve, Lydia ventured back into the forest. The atmosphere had changed. It felt more oppressive and cold. She followed the trail of the shadowy figures and whispers, hoping to find any sign of what had stirred the dark forces once more. As Lydia delved deeper into the forest, she stumbled upon an old, hidden ritual site she hadn't seen before. This site appeared to be another altar, but it was more elaborate and surrounded by ancient runes. The symbols were similar to those Blackwood had discovered but seemed to be evolving. Lydia realized that the new site might be the source of the renewed disturbances. The old runes hinted at a forgotten ritual that had not been fully completed. This ritual was designed to strengthen the rift rather than close it, potentially allowing the dark forces to regain their power. While investigating the new ritual site, Lydia encountered a ghostly figure, It was a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothing, her expression one of sorrow and desperation. The ghost revealed that she had been a part of a long-forgotten cult that had originally summoned the entities. The ghost, named Eleanor, explained that her attempt to bind the entities had failed, and she was doomed to haunt the forest, trying to correct the mistake. She pleaded with Lydia to help her complete the original ritual and truly seal the rift once and for all. Lydia, now understanding the gravity of the situation, began preparing for a new ritual to close the rift completely. She gathered items from the forest, including rare herbs and ancient artifacts mentioned in the runes. The ritual would require a full lunar eclipse to be effective, making the timing crucial. As Lydia prepared for the ritual, the forest seemed to grow darker and more tumultuous. The shadowy figures and whispers intensified, indicating that the dark entities were aware of her plans and were trying to disrupt her efforts. On the night of the lunar eclipse, Lydia returned to the ritual site with Eleanor's guidance. The forest was in turmoil, with shadows swirling around her and the whispers reaching a crescendo. Lydia set up the ritual with great care, using the artifacts and symbols to create a powerful barrier. As the lunar eclipse began, Lydia performed the ritual with precision. The air crackled with energy as the dark entities attempted to break through the barrier. Lydia chanted the incantations and used the ancient artifacts to focus the ritual's power. The forest was engulfed in a blinding light as the rift began to close. The dark entities struggled against the light, their forms writhing and twisting in the attempt to escape. With a final, powerful invocation, Lydia sealed the rift, causing the shadows to dissipate and the forest to return to its natural state. With the rift closed and the dark forces banished, the forest was finally at peace. Eleanor's ghost was freed from her eternal torment, her form dissolving into a serene light as she thanked Lydia for her help. Lydia left the forest with a sense of accomplishment and relief. The whispers of Greystone Forest had been silenced, and the dark forces were contained once more. She returned to Ravenswood, determined to share her experience and ensure that the forest's secrets were respected and guarded. Life in Ravenswood slowly returned to normal, though the memory of the forest's dark past remained. Lydia's bravery and determination were celebrated, and she became a local hero for her role in saving the town from the lurking darkness. Greystone Forest remained a place of mystery and respect. The locals continued to whisper about its secrets, but they did so with a newfound reverence. The forest was no longer a place of fear, but a reminder of the thin boundary between the known and the unknown. Lydia's experience became a legend, a tale of courage in the battle between light and darkness. The forest's whispers faded into legend, and its dark past was kept safely in the shadows, where it belonged.